It seems like a strong hero right now, this Brewmaster.
Yeah, I mean, they're small buffs, right? It's just like the tick intervals for damage, so it's just going to be dealing a lot more steady damage as opposed to larger ticks. It's hard to explain, but basically, instead of taking like 5 damage every half second, anyway, don't worry about the maths. You take the same amount of damage, but little bits at a time. I guess is the best way to put it.
All right, makes enough sense. IG now know what the off lane should be. It definitely should be that Brewmaster. So how do you want to try and counter this Brew in the laning phase?
Uh, I guess it's just again, it's going to come down to individual play because you want to bait out a lot of these abilities that enable him to go in and get these last hits. So, what's the best way to do that? Troll, I guess, would be all right.
Can we see a troll? The thing is as well, if they don't pick up a troll now, unless they ban it, CDEC may just take it for themselves. They've got an Oracle already, so it just seems to fit very, very well.
As well, the fact that CDEC do have the last pick, so if they were to go that troll, they're not afraid of getting, for example, an OD picked into you and just exploding it at the start of every fight. You do have to consider once. Sorry about that, but when they pop the Brew ulti, how are you going to deal with it? Because right now they've got very much a run at you style lineup. Puck's going to be going in on the back line. Disruptor wants to rearrange the fight as he sees fit with his glimpse. Clockwork is going to be going in very early on. Dazzle needs to be on top of you and constantly right-clicking you with with the poison touch. So are they going to go even more aggressive? Can they go something like, I don't know, a Lycan to last pick for themselves?
Important questions, and answers will be provided soon. IG, however, went for the Puck. I guess it's pretty standard up against the Quap. It's pretty darn nice counter. Not too surprising. It does feel like the Puck's a little bit weak right now in terms of, a mid hero. Its base stats feel very, very low. And it's, I don't know, I guess Dreamcore is so good anyway, like it doesn't matter, like her impact will always be there. I just don't know how to feel about the Puck.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of any sort of synergies with Puck. Like, just to be able to force them to proc the coil snap, things like that are really interesting to me. And you can do that, with 4-staff. You can do it with Dark Willow Ultimate. You can do that with Spear Swap. Glimpse potentially is another one that you can do that for. So if you're heavily committing on one style of hero, then it doesn't matter if you're a Queen of Pain. You're just going to be quickly burst down by IG style. So we'll see how it goes, but it's a lot to put into your probable mid lane. I wonder if you go like a Dagon build or something like that.
That'd be cool. Always a big fan of the Dagons coming out. IG, they're still spending a lot of time on this final ban. Just goes back to it. Do you want to ban the troll? You brought up the Lycan, could be dangerous. IG, what's the game plan?
And we were talking about before the effect that comfort picks have. And I know it was only against, let's just call them tier 2 or maybe even tier 3 teams, but to be able to even get into this stage of the tournament, they had to go through their promotion battles, right? So in games against like Keen Gaming's Academy team, against Ocean, against Blaze, who have taken series off of teams like LGD, they won a lot of games with the Void Spirit. So that just shows the strength that they have there. Also, obviously, TB was a very strong thing for them as well. And the Queen of Pain is another hero that they're very comfortable on. So maybe just giving XM these heroes that he really excels at and has had a lot of success, let him get a bit of that swagger going. Not cocky, not too cocky, but you'd want to be confident, especially going into this style of game. It's game 3, and if you're losing 2-1, it doesn't really matter. It's as good as a 2-0 with this format. You only get points for series wins.
Well, there we have it. Drafts are over. CDEC, they do end up finishing off with the PA, and we saw the PL coming out from IG. Interesting drafts. I don't know with this PA, every time I watch a PA, it always feels very, very lackluster. It feels like it just doesn't get to the point where she one hits people, or even, you know, takes half HP off with one strike, one crit strike. I don't know how to feel about it. I guess Arme is on the hero. He's a pretty darn good position one, so can't underestimate him. Overall, looking at these drafts, Danog, which one do you think incites a bit more confidence in you?
IG.
Okay.
Very, very easily. Like, with the PA, I know the build into the Battle Fury, if that is the build that he wants to go, is a little. It ramps up a bit easier. Like, you're not having to save up for this Demon Edge, and you're essentially useless while you wait for your 2200 gold. So now you can build things like the Broadsword or the Mithril Hammer that give you that little bit of damage boost that allow you to farm a bit quicker in the lead up to it. But before that, how are they going to deal with this aggression that IG are having? You know, you've got this puck that's going to be shoving waves. You've got this PL that's really tanking and just doppelganger out of things, so you can leave him somewhat on his own. And then all the while, you're going to have this clockwork hook shot again. You're going to have an aggressive disruptor, and of course, you're going to have a Dazzle who's probably going to go into things like the Necro Book and Mech to enable the survivability on the team.
I asked the same questions. I'm not sure how CDEC are intending to deal with all these things. We're about to find out. The game is beginning. Third game.
Interesting.
Prepare for battle.
Win the series. And, like you said, it matters winning the series altogether. That's how you get points. Doesn't matter how many games you won. It's all about winning the series altogether. Can CDEC beat a team like IG when they're not kind of memeing around with these snipers and these 20-minute Midases on the DK and things like that?
This
That's the
seems like a
question.
much more serious draft coming from
Yeah.
IG. I better not see any freaking Midases coming out, that's for sure. The Dagon, it's not even a meme this time if Emo was to go it. Just because you want to be able to burst down, for example, your Queen of Pain before she can blink away, your Brewmaster before he can split. PA as well, kind of vulnerable to it because it is magic damage, and you don't want to give the Oracle the chance to get the ult off either.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Love to see me a Dagon. We'll see if Emo does opt for that. Of course, he is one of those more aggressive mids coming out of the China scene. Definitely the kind of player that would go down that Dagon route. No problems. Of course, assuming he's having that good of a game. Top lane. Fly forced the Doppelganger first level just to try and get away from the gank attempt that was coming out from CDEC. And that will ensure CDEC at least secures their top 2 bounty runes.
I mean, there is the fact that you've got an Earthshaker against a Phantom Lancer, but when you think about it, early on, it's not going to have that big of an impact because you really need that Earthshaker to stop a lot of this this pushing power that IG have. So if you're committing on it and you kill the PL, that's great. You know, you've suddenly slowed down IG a little bit, but it's got such a long cooldown that they can just group up again and go again because their timing is so early. Later on, of course, if it gets to like 40 minutes plus, an Echo Slam that kills the PL is going to be enormous. But early on, I'm just not seeing the impact that it might have.
And that's kind of why I questioned the Earthshaker pick in the first place. Is it enough impact to actually really have any value in this game? Well, it's up to James. We'll see how well he does play it out. See the decisions he makes. Looks like he's just going to try and be as frustrating as possible with that level 1 Fisher for now. Actually, just going to see the tree line.
I'm liking the way JT's playing this as well, wanting to push the wave in under the tower, make it hard for the PA to last hit. Doesn't have the greatest CS potential, and then of course if she comes forward, you've just got that level 1 Shadow Wave to be able to deal a ton of damage and force her to go heavily into buying this regen for herself instead of these stat items that you need to stop the aggression.
Definitely a nice place from JT. Arme already basically burning through all his regen. Looks like Victoria will give him a tango. Top lane, looks like the Brewmaster, SRF. He'll be alright. He was copying a fair bit of harassment out from Fly, but he will manage to salve up. And mid lane, we will see a little bit of an early rotation from James on the Earthshaker. He doesn't really find the opening for a Fisher, so it looks like he's going to run up top. He hasn't gotten a point in experience yet, though, and I don't know. Like, he's going to run around. He's going to try and find that Fisher. Can he find one now?
Value for the Brewmaster, right? He's one of those heroes that is heavily based off of the experience that you're able to have other than the items.
They try to dish out some damage onto Ollie. SRF ends up taking more damage than he dealt.
Yeah,
I do
with
agree.
Brewmaster, it doesn't matter. Ult does the same thing if you know, other than the Ags. It doesn't really matter all that much. You know, you just need to be able to get it off. And that's his job, I suppose, for his team.
Right.
Enable Arme to be able to farm. I just don't think IG will allow that.
He's not doing too badly so far, Arme. He's currently 8-1, but as the levels ramp up, IG are going to get a lot more aggressive and start really trying to pressure that PA into a base a little bit. Should talk about the mid lane, however, a little bit as well. Emo and XM. So far, the lane does seem to be going very, very well for the Queen of Pain. She just... Well, actually, I say that, but Emo is just man-fighting XM. He fairy fires up and will survive. And is forced to salve up, but before that event happened, he was having a very good time.
He was. I think it's pretty even, actually. If you look at the net worth, I mean, that tells the real story. You can talk about last hits all you want, but 500 net worth ahead on both of these IG cores so far.
Well, fair enough. They are very, very even.
It's probably going to go back a bit more in XM's favor once he does get those couple of extra levels. He's going to go into the bottle, so that extended capability to stay out on the map. It's not net worth that you're losing. It's always just going to be there. You can see IG, they're getting pretty keen, diving a little bit. Kaka being mindful not to right-click underneath the tower, just letting the battery assault do the work.
And Kaka already at that level 3 mark as well. Just taking some XP priority away from JT, but it's... I guess it's fine. Like, Kaka, he can be very effective this game on the clockwork if he does get that early level 6 mark. And
yeah.
They are letting him soak a little bit.
A lot of credit does need to be given to how well Emo's been playing this mid lane as well. Playing this puck into the Queen of Pain, he's made sure that Quap had to use a lot more of his net worth to be able to buy things and not be able to save up for that bottle.
Top lane, James actually ends up getting the first blood over onto Ollie. That will be the first blood going the way of CDEC, and you know what? Getting first blood for an Earthshaker never hurts. Like, just getting that fast gold. Brown boots up, going to a blink later on. It's going to feel quite nice for James.
Enables that easier rotations as well. We can see a few nice stacks coming out. You can tell XM, he's having a bit of a rougher time. Now, if he had this bottle before the double damage came up, that just enables his sustain so much more in the lane. But because Emo was able to pressure him out a lot more, force him to use the money on salves, he just didn't have it. So he wasn't able to maximize his efficiency there.
I suppose with these stacks, though, he will be able to catch up quite decently.
Yep.
Worthy tribute.
It's a nice little bonus to have. He's coming straight back to lane, so he won't lose too much in the form of experience.
The map is fairly quiet for now. It's both. Oh, I say that Kaka will make a jump onto Victoria, and that's what we talked about. Like, Kaka on the clockwork will really harass out these supports very easily, and level 2 battery assault is just way too much damage for this Oracle.
Yeah, nice coordination coming through from JT as well there with the clockwork. Holding off the poison touch until the very end after the Oracle uses his Fortune's End, wanting to make sure it's not dispelled straight away.
Oh, James rotating in mid. Emo, it's going to be okay. He jaunts away with the orb. Both players actually missed out on the rune. It was at the bot lane, and Kaka will be forced to pick it up on the clockwork now.
Meanwhile, so much importance being put onto these runes because this mid lane is really what's going to be the tempo controller.
Dream Coil comes in. Fate's Edict will block out some of the magic damage coming out into XM. He blinks, but on the spot, he double tapped it too much and doesn't pay off. And now James getting caught out as well. That is not good news for CDEC.
I want to have a look at his player perspective because I think maybe it might have been a glimpse at the absolute perfect time just to instantly bring him back.
You know what? You might be right, because it is on cooldown, so I think you are correct. It really was perfect timing, though. It makes it look like he did actually blink on the spot. Very well played from the Disruptor.
Meanwhile, Flyfly, he's just getting aggressive on this top side, you know, forcing the Brewmaster to have to back a little bit. James, there's a lot of farm that's being denied underneath the tower. You don't want to be able to just force this sort of rotation. Flyfly's getting keen.
Oh, a nice dodge on the Fisher. James was waiting for that doppelganger to come out the whole time, and Flyfly just held out. So he'll be fine. He could just continue applying that aggression. You've got to really appreciate the early Hood of Defiance as well. Like, it makes him so much tankier as a PL. Like, it's going to be so much harder to see a rotation from that Queen of Pain to really try and burst this guy down.
Alright, so you can see Arme with the Gloves of Haste. I'm assuming this is just building into something standard, you know, the treads. I better not see that freaking Midas.
Emo, double Dream Call in the mid lane, and now Kaka rotates in with the Battery Assault. Sonic Wave will be there. Emo, he's starting to fall low. Fortune's End will hold him down. He's been poisoned up and he will die, as that is a very awkward pause timing to come out. But
Give him the question mark.
IG looked to be in a bit of a spot of trouble here. Like, Kaka, he may have gone too far forward on that clock. He may actually just die.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried at Victoria being a little slow on the trigger finger to be able to finish off the puck there. Had the Purifying Flames available to kill secure, but no, just making sure they both went to XM, so nicely done.
He might even find a third one. Ollie getting dived underneath this tier 1 tower. One more hit would do it, and Arme, he rotates in, he wants the kill, but Victoria may secure
Run, Ollie.
that kill, and he does.
Yeah, nicely done. And now you've got that level 6 here on the Phantom Assassin as well. So he's got the power treads. Good. We're not going to see a Midas. Thank
Excellent.
everything.
Radiant's
The
top
powers
tower
above.
is under attack.
Praise Gaben.
Praise Gaben indeed. You never know though. Emo, we haven't found out what he's building yet. In fact, he hasn't even got brown boots yet, Emo. Just got the Null Talismans, got the bottle up.
Doesn't really need it. He's got enough maneuverability as the puck in his toolkit already.
Bot lane, however, JT going to get dived right now. The Primal Split comes out. James is going to be there. Not fissuring yet. There's a Shallow Grave. Glimpse is there onto XM as well, forcing that quad back, but JT should die and does, and now the Fisher comes out. Kaka's been caught, and he will be the secondary death for the side of IG.
Nicely done. Army just contesting with Flyfly a little bit here on the top side, and in 30 seconds we're going to see those outposts. So James and Victoria, hopefully, yeah, good, capping back the one on their side. Don't think they'll have time to get aggressive on the top side though, although we can see the Clockwork, he's TPing in.
He's going to try and be sneaky about this. This is a very dangerous TP, Kaka. I suppose it's worth it if you do get it, but he's surrounded now. Ollie's going to be there. They're going to try. Nothing to cancel it off. He's actually going to get it. Kaka, he does pick it up. The Fisher missed earlier on, and now SRF, he's in the middle of the cogs. He doesn't want to be there. He's got no Primal Split, and he will end up dying, and now Emo. He gets another nice Dream Call off with a glimpse back, and that does break the tether. And Victoria going to end up dying, and you know, you did say you liked those little combinations where you break tethers. There's one.
Yeah, just get creative, you know. In the words of a Dota great, anything can work.
Dire
True.
structures are fortified. Radiant
James.
structures are fortified.
Looks like he'll buy a tomb for himself, hit that level 5 mark, and
Bottom tower is under attack.
starting to feel a little bit of pressure to have that Echo Slam up.
I'm a little surprised, honestly, that James didn't go in and use his enchant totem on top of the who was capping it? Was it the Clockwork? Just to
Yes.
make sure that he wasn't able to get the experience, because when you think about it, it's 150 times 5, so that's quick maths, 750 experience that you're losing out on your team, that the other team is getting entirely. And you can just see here, Flyfly, he's level 9.
Can he get away from this gank? He has Doppel, Primal Split, not going to be committed. In fact, he doesn't even have it.
Now, could they have killed him if they had the experience to have the Echo Slam? Maybe.
Yes.
Could have been
I
the
think they
difference.
could have. I think you've made a very good point, Danog. I think it would have actually been a kill had they had that Echo. Still, we'll never know. But Flyfly is starting to get bigger and bigger as time goes on. Mid lane, Sonic Wave was committed. looks like Kaka picks up SRF on the Brewmaster, and now he's just trying to run away. Emo is going to be there to protect just in case. Slowly but surely, IG, they're really starting to take over. Down a 4k net worth lead now. In fact, make it 5.
I'm feeling it for IG. They've hit their timings really well. They've had some great individual plays come out. And punishing some indecision that's coming through from CDEC. Maybe feeling a little bit starstruck coming up against these. Although, not quite as forgivable for your players such as, you know, Ame. He's played on the grand stages many times.
Yes, he has. We'll all remember that that particular stage. It was a very memorable experience up against OG, of course. Well, he's not really keeping up with Fly. Like, his farm is so far below. I believe it's about 1.7k below the PL right now.
So at least now he's got his broadsword, right? So you're not in this awkward little window where you've got nothing that enables you to do damage. You can do something with the broadsword picked up. He's going to go into the battle for you, which you just need it, you know, to be able to stop some of this early aggression. But in the meantime, it's not going to be too long before JT's picked up the mechanism. He's, what, about 500 gold away? And by then, you've probably lost at least 2, maybe even 3 more towers, which is going to put CDEC in a rough spot.
That it will. And on top of that mech coming out, like, Fly's getting very close to that diffusal blade. So, I mean, Battle Fury's going to be nice when he gets it, but even after that Battle Fury, like, he needs a Desolator or a BKB or something else to really be able to join these team fights. Right. And this is where you kind of question the PA pick in the first place. Like, you need so much for it to be online. Is it even worth the time?
It's going to be rough, and PA also not having the highest mana pool, so if you're able to get onto her, get a bit lucky with not running into those evasion stacks. Oh, actually, we can see a smoke here. Are they going to catch out James? Just be careful, still 1,000 gold away from his Echo. I mean, his Blink Dagger, sorry.
Well, glimpse back, nice vision provided by Emo. Now the double stance and the hookshot from Kaka. It does not break the tether. False Promise will be there in time to save his own life. Now the Sonic Wave XM jumps in, but he doesn't do enough, as we do see a rotation coming out from Fly. They do at least get JT on the Dazzle, but they may lose their Queen of Pain. She does have Blink, she was silenced, but she will manage to get out. And in the end, it is a 1-for-1 trade, which actually is favorable for CDEC.
It is, but all that, if Ame was farming that entire time, but you could see he was just kind of there, wanting to be like, oh, should I help them, shouldn't I? And that was 3 pretty high value ultimates used on CDEC's side, so suddenly a lot more of the map is opened up. They're still hanging around, they still want to make something happen. I don't know about that TP from the PL, probably just as easily run. Oh, they've gone in again, onto the Earthshaker.
Why not? Emo, he doesn't have Dream Coil, however. This could be dangerous. He needs 10 seconds for that.
Deep.
He's got a haste rune. It looks like they're maybe just securing bounties, or no, they're actually going in. There is a static field committed by Ollie. It does lock in James at least, or in fact it's the Oracle Victoria that does go down. Now the Dream Core comes out. Still, you do have SRF there. He doesn't have Primal Split, but he's going to be around to help. This is a very, very messy team fight. They do manage to save or force a buyback out of the Oracle at least, so there's that.
The bait's going really well, but you could see just, again, I'm harping on about it, but the efficiency that's coming out from this Phantom Lancer. He is nowhere near any of those team fights, whereas Ame, he's standing right next to them. He's in danger of being gone on if fight, and inevitably it won't, go in CDEC's favor. And yeah, just the rich get richer. It's that sort of scenario. And now they've got a siege creep as well that they're being able to use to push in. They've finished up the diffusal blade. Everything's going IG's way.
Fly gonna get an easy tier 2 tower. There's really no trade for this either. Like, CDEC, they haven't even found the top tier 1 yet.
Nope. How do they take it? You know, they have no strong tower takers.
That's a real problem. Like, these trades are just all IG's way. And I mean, you mentioned it so many times, but they're just getting further and further ahead. JT's got the mech, and in fact, he's almost got those Greaves up now. After those Greaves are up, how do you stop these people?
With great difficulty. And even now, you know, pos 4 in Kaka. He's just able to nullify a lot of what this PA wants to do. He's got no one that he can jump to. If he's blinking, he has to blink further into harm's way, and he's going to go down here.
Great hook in from Karkan, yeah, no creep waves, no people. They smoke up CDEC, but what's the point? Can you actually take this team fight?
Really? I mean,
They're gonna
maybe
try.
you'll get really lucky. I mean, do they have a blink dagger? No, no blink on James.
They've got Primal Split. That's really all they do have. And I guess Sonic Wave False Promise is also there. IG, they've smoked up, but they go into the Roshan pit now. And so they're going to try and sneak this.
Gives Ame time to come back, but again, will he be able to do anything with it? Probably not.
It feels like this might be their best chance of taking a team fight so far. 'Cause you are kind of trapped in the Roshan pit if you are IG. But again, without that blink on the Earthshaker, there's no real way to initiate this. So IG will just continue to take it. Cypher.
I'm really loving the ward game as well coming here from IG.
They jump in. SRF, hookshot going to be there on Victoria. Push him back down the hill. He does Fate's Edict, and he should be okay for now, but not with Fly on top of him. He has the False Promise, and he will. But that is a big waste, as Emo is going to be there with some follow-up damage. And he can't save the rest of his teammates now that he's dead. Glimpse back.
Ult's used for what?
Nothing. SRF, he gets taken out. Dream Coil to cancel the TP. And Fly is still taking the Roshan. He doesn't even care.
He doesn't even need to be in these team fights. That's how a dominant of a position. Like, if you just looked at the kill score, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's reasonably even. Nah, this is heavily IG favored. And, well, Dota Plus agrees, only giving him a 10% chance of coming back into this game.
I mean, with a 10k net worth lead on IG as well, I can't blame Dota Plus for once. Fly will take the Aegis now. What is that point booster for? What am I missing here?
You can go Ags. Just lets you zip around in these team fights a lot more often. Removes the cooldown off the Phantom Rush, so when you're hitting constantly with an extra 44 agility, super value.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So we went from Midas DK to Aghanim's PL now. That's the new thing for IG.
Ags PL is totally fine, in my mind.
Okay.
Especially once you get to level 20. You know, you get the huge range, and you get the huge extra damage on it, and you're able to move around much easier. You don't need things like the Blink Dagger.
James. You can't afford to die like this. He's still holding so much gold for that Blink. And you just can't get there. He really can't find any form of farm. And now...
We were talking about these timings, right? Army's still about, what, 300 gold away? They've got the Dream Coil.
Yeah, they do. Arme blinks. Emo is waiting. TP.
Coil.
Cancelled. Denied. And he tries to take a creep. At least he gets a creep before he dies. That's nice.
And now he's 400 gold away from his his Battle Fury. They're going to get
good.
the Brewmaster as well. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
so-
not. But
Fly could dive this, and yeah, he is gonna. He'll go after Victoria instead. He does eventually cancel the dive off. But he does have his Aghanim Scepter on the way. So, I suppose once that's up, you just dive infinitely.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Why
how are you
not?
going to hit your timings? That's my biggest issue with CDEC's lineup. And they haven't. They have no Blink Dagger on Earthshaker. They have no Battle Fury on the Phantom Assassin at 20 minutes. And all of your outer towers are taken except on the top lane. Probably the hardest one to take. So they've been taking some really intelligent fights here on IG's side and playing it perfect.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Fly. Gonna go ahead and take himself a very, very easy tier 2 tower.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I mean, do they even need to wait?
No.
I'm
Do
just
they?
thinking Clockwork is 600 gold away from his Ags. They're just
Yeah,
going
but
in.
They found a Queen of Pain. Fate's Edict is there to help. Kaka, so much control. Now the silence comes out. And it's getting to that point where you start to question when the GG call is going to come out. Is IG are just going to keep moving forward. SRF, that is way too far forward for you, sir. He will primal split, but for what? What's he going to
Poor
do with
James.
it?
James as well getting picked off on this bot side.
So Emo's not even there in the mid lane. And SRF might even die. No, he won't. The Ember Spirit, or whatever it's called, the Fire Spirit will be able to get away. SRF getting glimpsed back close towards his fountain now. IG.
He's got the Battle Fury.
Good. Amazing. How much more time do you think he needs to farm?
Well, he's got that Deso next. He at least wants level 15. But Urax is gone.
Yeah. And they're going to dive. SRF, again, very, very far forward without Primal Split this time. Sonic Wave, though, is going to be nice from XM, but glimpse back on SRF. They'll just keep charging forward. A False Promise will save for now, but for how long? SRF is still getting attacked, and I'm pretty sure he is just going to die through the False Promise as he does. XM getting his mana drained by these illusions, and Fly, he's not even there. He's taking tier 3 towers.
Oh, they're playing it perfectly. The Rocket Flare to catch out the smoke. They get the coil onto 2. Earthshaker sold his Tranquil Boots just to afford Blink Dagger.
Oh, Mind Control knows how he feels right now. They are diving. They are finding another. Oh, Ame, he gets a kill, but at the cost of his own life. And now that big echo, but only
They got
onto
no
one.
follow-up. This is
Yeah, it's over. They won't call it yet, but Fly will force him. There's the GG. XM, he doesn't want to get Fountain Dive.
And we got the Dagon. Yes!
Oh, what a game. I mean, IG, we said they were the heavy favorites when the first draft was going on. Obviously, the second game, they were memeing a little bit, but when it came to back to being serious, they really took over this series.
Yeah, I just think PA was honestly a horrible way to round out this draft for them. When you think about what else they needed on the team, you know, I honestly didn't mind the rest of it, but when you've got an Earthshaker that needs a little bit of space to farm up his key items in that Blink Dagger and have some sort of an impact in these team fights, it just PA doesn't allow that, at least until she has the Battle Fury. And with the aggressive style that IG went, it just didn't enable you to do it. Even something like a Sven would have been a lot better, just because you can have that inbuilt cleave early on, and you can create some pressure to defend on IG's side.
Absolutely. Of course, Daniel, we do have a second series on tonight. Vici Gaming versus PSG LGD is arguably the bigger matchup. Should be a very, very crazy one, I'm sure. We are going to try and get into the 1v1, right? Because
Yes.
I know people want to see it. I'm sure you want to see it. And you know what? Seeing a Mars versus Nyx Assassin, I want to see it now. So
Yeah.
we're going
It
to
might
get
not
into
be
it.
that matchup, but we'll see. I think they put it on Chinese social media so that the public gets a chance to say, like, A, who plays against who on the team. So we've seen like Pos 5's face off in mid, as well as the hero matchups that we'll get. So sometimes we get your standard Shadow Fiend v Shadow Fiend. I've seen like some different ones like Tusk v Tusk, all that sort of stuff. But we'll see. We'll see what we get this time around. Make sure you stick around for it as well, because it's always good to see a bit of 1v1 action.
We'll be right back. It is MLP Dota and Dota. We'll be back ASAP with that 1v1 matchup.